Well, I did it. I beat Black Myth Wukong, and wow, what a game. It only took me 60 hours to 100% the game, and I got the secret ending, and I did everything I needed to do, and I discovered every secret in every chapter, and wow, what a game. In this video, I want to give you my thoughts and concerns and let you know whether you should consider buying and investing in this game or not. So let's hop into it. So let's start out with the good. And there's a lot of good in this game, but I'm only going to narrow it down to a few good things that I seem to really like about this game. So first thing up, the story and the lore. Now, when you beat certain bosses in this game, you get cutscenes like this, and they're absolutely well done. Like, the animation is amazing. The art team did a really great job, and it was really entertaining and engaging. Like, when you're playing the game, because it's like playing an anime basically, and it's just like really well done. I had a good time like watching the lore and like getting familiar with why Wukong is on the mission he's on, and it actually made me want to actually do more research into the story of Wukong and find out more about him. So really great job with the lore and the story. I had a great time with it. Another thing is the visuals. The visuals were absolutely phenomenal. Like the landscapes, the interactions with the bosses, the fights. It was just amazing to see. Like, flying in chapter 6, you get to fly on your somersault cloud. That was absolutely well done. Had an amazing job with that. It was just a visual masterpiece playing this game, because it was just really well done. You can tell like the developers of the game took their time and put a lot of effort into making the landscapes, the armor, the weapons, everything top notch. And another thing is the boss fights. The boss fights were really fun. Well, I'm gonna say that with an asterisk, meaning like if you had everything you needed to do the boss fights, they were fun. But if you didn't, then you were kind of SOL. But like a couple of boss fights had some cutscenes like this one right here, and it was absolutely really well done. Like, I had so much fun doing some of the boss fights and getting them done, and I actually felt a sense of accomplishment when you beat certain boss fights. Other ones, not so much, but I don't want to be nitpicky. But like, again, when you defeat the boss, the scene that pops up showing that you defeated, it was a sense of accomplishment. I had a really good time defeating the bosses and watching the cutscenes after. And speaking of armor, like the weapons and like the armor you unlock as you progress through the story, absolutely well done. Like, there were so many different combinations, and certain armors and certain staffs have different uses and can be utilized in different ways. And like, it was just amazing and well done. Like, the way you can like craft what you needed to counter certain enemies, and like the damage you can do with certain staffs. And it was just, I just had a really great time, and I have a lot of favorite weapons. Some aren't even the strongest in game. And then the transformations you can do, you can transform into different characters, and like that can definitely help you save your life to finish off a boss. It was just really, really fun, and I had a really amazing time playing certain things in this game. And of course, how can I not forget the cutscenes? The cutscenes were so well done. I absolutely loved almost every single cutscene, and the way they did it, in the direction they did it, and it just really engulfed you and made you really just want to keep it playing. Because there were times I wanted to play this game all through the night. Like, after I got past chapter 1, I think I wanted this to binge it and just play until I couldn't play anymore, because the cutscenes were just amazing. And I never got tired of watching. Like, I actually want to beat this game again, just so I can rewatch some of the cutscenes and enjoy them again like I did for the first time, because wow, they were just really stunning. And like, the deeper you go into the game, the more you get to see from the cutscenes. And of course, that's with every game, but it's just, it never gets old. The cutscenes for me never got old, and I actually really enjoyed every second of every cutscene, because they were so well directed, and so much, you can tell a lot of effort was put into these cutscenes. But like there's good, there is bad. There isn't a lot of bad, but there's a few things that I think they could have done better with. Like, for example, there's no map in the game. If you don't do your own research on your own outside of playing the game, there are going to be a lot of things you miss. And there were a few bosses, excuse me, in this game that if you didn't have a certain weapon or a certain item, you weren't able to defeat them. I struggled on so many fights, and there were like invisible walls right here. So if you didn't know where you were going, you were kind of just stuck. Also, right here, the NPCs. I felt like the NPCs weren't really as helpful as they could have been. Like when you needed a certain weapon or a certain item to take down a certain boss, there's no way you would have known to do that, and the NPCs wouldn't have helped you do that at all. Now, don't get me wrong, they do help you with upgrading your gorge and upgrading your weapons and giving you medicines and harvesting ingredients. All that's great, but some information could have been utilized for these NPCs to let you know, like, hey, if you're going to take on this boss, you might want to go looking for this item because it could help. And there were some bosses I was stuck on because I literally couldn't beat them because I didn't have the item I needed to beat them. And I didn't know to get the item until I researched it on my own and looked it up on Google or on TikTok or whatever. But they could have definitely made the NPCs a little bit more helpful, in my opinion. But again, that's maybe me nitpicking. Another thing is, there were certain armors that are unavailable. Meaning, like, you couldn't access the armor because you only get certain pieces, and you only get like 2 of those pieces. You have to beat the game again to get another 2 of those pieces to unlock the armor that you wanted to unlock. And that kind of sucked because some armor that you couldn't unlock was actually stronger than the armor that I have on right here, like the Wukong armor. And it's just like, what's the point of that? Like, why are you forcing us to play through the game multiple times just to get certain items or that we needed to upgrade our armor? That kind of was bad. And then there were items that you couldn't even farm. Like when you ran out of gold thread, you were kind of just stuck there. They didn't sell it anymore. And like right here, what I just did right there was the Wukong stance. The only way to get that stance is if you beat the game 3 times. And that kind of sucked, because it's like, why do I have to beat the game 3 times just to get a Wukong stance? I feel like that was just really bad design in my opinion. They definitely could have did a lot better with that. I really was not a fan of that. And then there were items that once they were sold out in the store, they were just sold out for the rest of the game. And you couldn't farm them. There was no place to find them once you beat the game. So you actually have to beat the game to get certain items like celestial ribbons and fine gold thread. Once they're gone, they're gone. You got to play the game again just to get them. I really didn't like that aspect of it. I was not a fan of that. But what are my overall thoughts on this game? Well, I gotta admit, this game is absolutely amazing. It definitely does make me want to play through more than once because it's that fun. And like when you beat the game, you get to keep everything you unlock, and you just can speed through it again if you really want to. But you got to get the secret ending again if you want to get all items and all stances, which kind of sucks. But again, overall, for me, that doesn't take away from the game because I was going to beat it multiple times anyway. But still, that kind of is annoying. But overall, this game, absolutely amazing. I think it should definitely be a God of War candidate. If I had to rank this game, I would give it a solid 8.7 out of 10. And the reason I say 8.7 is because, you know, there was some bad and the bad was annoying, but I just want more for the game. Actually, I want more DLC, and I did hear that DLC was coming, but I can't wait for it to come because this game had so much fun with it. Really well done, and I look forward to beating it again. So if I had to recommend this game, I definitely would recommend it. I think you should buy it, and I think you should play it. It isn't easy. And I definitely suggest you do your research on the game before you, well, when you're in certain chapters, definitely do your research because it's easy to miss something and then you're stuck, like not able to get the secret ending because you forgot to do something in chapter 1. And there are certain things like when you beat the game or when you progress too far in the game, you can't go back and do it because it's just gone. So keep that in mind. But overall, this is a solid game. I think it's a Game of War, a game of the year candidate, and I give it a 8.7 out of 10. So if I had to suggest it, I definitely would recommend it. But if you did like this video, please hit that like button. If there's anyone new here, if you can hit that subscribe button, I'll greatly appreciate it. Y'all take care. Have a great and wonderful day.